Thanks for having me.
Have we ever done a solo one?
We haven't done a solo one. No, this is my first
Me and you have
one.
never done one?
No, we haven't. We've just done the companions, which
Just done
have been super fun.
To be honest, the companions are great, but they're the first episodes I'm going to delete if it ever makes anything.
You have to. You don't have a choice. Either you'll be deleted.
I will be deleted. There is hidden Easter eggs in those podcasts.
There's some moments.
There is some moments.
Pereira winning the belt.
Yes.
We went pretty wild for that. That was good.
So for everyone who doesn't know, because he's always on the Fight Companions and not like, I feel like that's a different crowd of people who watch that. This is my homeboy Luke Leedham, ex Muay Thai fighter, MMA aficionado, ex commentator for Knees of Fury.
Knees of Fury, yeah.
Professional ginger.
Apparently, yeah.
Nazi enthusiast.
I don't know about Nazi enthusiast. I was just saying off camera before this, we were chatting about how being a Nazi somehow become in fashion.
Yeah, it's cool now.
It seems to be cool.
It's very
catchy. It seems
catchy.
to be cool. I mean, look, Kanye is a wizard, and
he's brought
somehow he's managed to make a song that is probably the
catchiest.
most offensive song, but one of the most catchy songs you can hear. So
we're not going to dick around today. What we're doing, we're both big fans of
drinking beers.
the hottest show with the hottest questions.
That's true.
The hottest show with even hotter wings, hot ones. There is a cold ones that are based in Australia. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
I haven't. I didn't know.
You've never seen it?
No.
So there is an Australian duo. They're actually a massive YouTube channel. They have millions of followers, and they're called Cold Ones.
Okay.
But they drink fucked up shit. They're actually very funny, but they never replied to my DMs, so fuck them. So we're doing a cold ones kind of. We're just going to drink 10 beers today. We're going to halve a beer each, and they all range from weakest to strongest. We're going to start with my homebrew that I made. Shout out to my brother who brought me a homebrew. It's not fizzy. That's not a good start.
That's concerning.
But was it that bad last time, Reese? Wasn't that bad.
I mean, this lineup is going to be trouble for us.
We do have a
in
solid
general,
lineup.
so-
I'll put it in the thumbnail. But we have a lot to go through. A lot's happened in the MMA world. I
Absolutely.
feel I feel like this is the most boring chunk of MMA of my MMA fan career.
It's been slow.
It
There's
just
a lot
feels
happening,
stagnant,
but
dude.
it happens slowly. Like a lot of big fights are happening, but you're waiting like 6 or 9 or 12 months for like fights
Jeez.
to begin.
That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad.
It's better than I expected. 100%.
That's actually not
true.
bad.
That's fine. But you're just waiting along because there's champs
stagnant.
waiting to fight champs, and there's people moving up weight classes,
And everyone's retiring, so they're all waiting for that perfect fight.
absolutely
Like, everyone's waiting for that. They don't want to just take that chance anymore because, like, Justin Gaethje's and all of them, they only have X amount of fights left. So
Minimal,
they're
yeah.
only taking the fights that make sense, which is fair enough.
And why do you want to fight an up-and-coming killer with knockout power when you can have an entertaining fight with a Max Holloway or a Dustin Poirier on the other side where you know you're going to make a lot of money? It doesn't make sense to put yourself out there now.
Unless you're Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I don't know why that dude's... What is he, 43?
He's fighting Roofy.
Yeah, I know, my boy.
Why?
Look, it's Michael Chandler.
He's fighting
It's
out
what
his
he's always
contract.
done. I mean, you can't fault Michael Chandler for the fact that he's always fought the best. Whether you like his attitude or not, he's got good work ethic and he'll fight everyone.
Did you watch Tough?
Not recently, no.
Did you watch the first episode of Tough?
No.
It was fucking pretty good.
Who are the coaches this is?
Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen.
That's right, because they're not fighting it. That's going to be theatre.
You can tell that they're making things like Chael's kind of building like a storyline. Like, oh, Daniel's kind of pissed me off here, but they're very good friends.
Oh, of course they are, but
But-
both of them have the ability to sort of like stand their ground and piss the other one off. And I think it will be, you know what I mean? You don't want that like over the top fucking theatrical bullshit like you got back in the day. You want to see this.
It's more it's definitely toned down on the drama, I feel, from the first episode anyway. But Contender Series is the perfect format. Like, the Contender Series is like, okay, we're going to just get these savages and they're going to fight. There's no storylines. It's just dope
Agree.
fights. I like that. But it's also fun. It's just more fight content.
But for the UFC, they're building a brand on a new guy, and then potentially, you know, they're making more money off of this guy's success. You get someone who becomes popular through tough, and people want to watch them fight because of their personality, where the UFC benefit from that because they then sell tickets and pay-per-views for those sorts of events. So
and we were talking in like our group chat yesterday about UFC's definitely going to go to Netflix, I think.
I think it got announced that it's pretty much done.
I think it's 100% going to go to Netflix. And Dale was like, oh, but pay-per-views. And I was like...
But the WWE made it work.
They pay $1 billion because they're paying for all the pay-per-views. And they'll still label them as like UFC 13, UFC 14.
Absolutely.
But then Dale said, is it going to water down the content then? Because they don't need to make money.
It's already watered down, though. It's become watered down.
I don't think it's watered down. I just think we're being bitter old men. I think we're being bitter because our favourite fighters are retiring.
That's a good point. To me, look, how many fight nights do you watch that don't look fantastic and they end up being bangers? It happens all the time.
I'll tell you now, I don't know if it's because of the pod or if it's because UFC has been a bit stale. I find myself not tuning into every single fight night.
I don't either. Like this weekend, I won't be.
But 2 years ago, I guarantee you did.
No, I've always been pretty selective. Even pay-per-views sometimes, if it doesn't do anything for me, if I'm not interested in the champions, maybe I'll catch I'll rewatch the last few fights or something. But typically, if I've got something else to do, I won't go out of my way. But most Sundays there's not a lot going on, so typically I'll watch them. But there's some I won't. Something's on, I can skip it. I can deal with it.
What's the
but
next?
Specifically for fight nights, I think we've got Macy Barber and Blanchford. So that's what I'm saying. But then after that, I think we've got about 4 weeks of just absolute gold.
O'Malley's next week with Morab, which everyone's like writing off O'Malley. I reckon Morab's like an 80-20 favourite. But
have you seen O'Malley? Like, he's been off social media. He's been...
Do you know that actual shows me like it goes one of two ways in that way. It's like either you come out and you show out, or it gets done worse and you retire. I could definitely see something crazy happening.
But at least he must have doubt from the first fight. You know what I mean? There must be something in the back of his head where he knows that he didn't perform to the best of his ability, and he's come back and whether he loses again, hopefully he has a better showing and maybe he's figured something out and maybe he comes out and knocks him out. I mean, Morab can be fucking knocked out. He's been dropped. So.
Well, the only two people that can beat Morab is O'Malley or Sandhagen, in my opinion. Because they can catch him coming in with like a weird knee, laser left hand, laser right hand. That's when you got to catch him, obviously, when he's coming in for that shot. But the thing is, he's he's weaponized cardio so well.
Yeah.
I don't feel one shot's going to do it for Morab.
I feel skill-wise, Umar was there. It was just that cardio. Like, Umar probably won the first two, maybe the first 2 rounds, I reckon, in their fight.
Yeah, it's
and
close.
Then Morab just steamrolled him after that, and it's like it's that cardio. It's that
There's guys who can
hang with him and beat him, but it's like, can you hang with him and beat him for 25 minutes at his pace? And I don't know who's got that.
Weaponizing, like I've never seen someone weaponize cardio like that since Prime Cain.
Cain being in heavyweight, it's the thing. Way different story.
Cain did it at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Morab's doing it against the fittest division in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bar flyweight, bantamweight and flyweight are probably like it's not that much of a difference in stamina. Like all of them would have fantastic tanks naturally.
Bantamweight's where you start to see some KO power. I think flyweight seems to struggle a little bit with that.
See, flyweight's just one division. I've never... When Mighty Mouse left,
Sorry, did you say featherweight? Sorry, maybe I'm getting the wrong one.
No, flyweight I meant.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
I meant flyweight and bantamweight.
Yeah, sorry, that's probably
their cardios are like pretty similar.
Agree.
They naturally are smaller dudes, so to be an outlier of cardio in that division is fucking insane.
But typically, you would think the output is because there's the lack of power. Like, that's always, I guess, the thought is that the reason these guys can go so far is because they can't generate
some power.
That's what I'm saying. Then you get into bantamweight and you do get those guys. That's why Figgy was so polarizing, because he was KOing people at 125 and you didn't really see guys with one punch. Mighty Mouse would knee in people, but to hit someone with one punch and then flatline them just wasn't common at 125. And that's why Figgy just became like this figure. And Moreno could somehow take it, which probably, not punching Super A's, well, your weight class, so...
Small weight class.
Small man weight class.
At the moment, I'd fucking be a welterweight.
Jesus.
It's fucking... What would you...
You're in real danger if I'd be a light heavyweight.
You could be a light heavyweight?
Yeah, I'd be a light heavyweight.
That wouldn't be fun either.
It'd be horrible.
It'd be fucking terrible.
It'd be horrible.
What's light heavyweight? How many kilo?
is it 93?
It's 185. Yeah, it'd be about
185
91.
is 86. I'm pretty
Those
certain.
are fucking big men.
I'm pretty sure 85 is 86 or 83, somewhere around there. And then, yeah, light heavyweight's 91 or 93, something like that. It's because 100's 225.
It's actually a good card. Dale sent it to me the other day. It's a very good card. I don't remember who's on it.
Which one's this?
The Morab and O'Malley card.
It is a good card.
It is a good card. And then...
And it comes off a long weekend too, which is fantastic.
Dricus is next.
Dricus and Zat Daddy.
Dricus and Zat Daddy's next.
How do you think that goes?
See, everyone, it's impossible. For anyone who's certain about that fight, it's so hard because they're both... Hamzat can beat anyone in the first 2 rounds alive.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone that walks the earth, Hamzat can fuck you up in 2 rounds. Dricus, if it gets past that 2... It's the standard thing. If it gets past 2.5 rounds, it's gonna win. It's just... Hamzat's not winning that fight if it goes to a decision.
I do agree with that, and I was one of the biggest haters on the whole Dricus got his nose fixed and the cardio was going to come back.
He's
and
a
I was like,
freak,
it's
man.
bullshit, and it's true. His nose got fixed, and the guy is just like, he's a workhorse now.
Well, you've seen... There's just... Like, Dricus looks tired in the first round. He just maintains...
He just looks like shit, though.
No, but he just maintains that fucking pace for 25.
Anaerobic fitness. He's just got it.
You've trained at really, like in really high-level situations and fought. It'd be a fucking nightmare to know a dude can maintain a pace, like the same pace.
Speaking for myself, when I was fighting, the biggest fear I had was me being tired and my opponent being fine. Like, I was always like, what if I gas and then I'm just getting worked?
Just
And it's
getting
like,
bashed.
that's the fear. You don't want to be the guy that's just done and you're just getting bashed. The guy's in his flow state, just punching your nose through the back of your head.
And then there's that other fear which Dricus would experience, or everyone would experience with Hamzat, where it's like, oh, the second that bell rings,
he's diving.
But it's gonna be ferocious.
Oh, it's gonna be it's cats and dogs in the fucking tornado.
Like, he's gonna come for me, and it's gonna be fucking insane for like 10 minutes.
But at least you can prepare for that. Like, you can prepare for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
If
you don't,
you know better, but you've fought, so the intensity in training cannot nearly match.
No, but you know he's going to dive.
Yeah.
Like, you are
know,
aware that
yeah.
he is going to dive on your legs in the first 30 seconds of that fight.
People forget Hamzat can strike too.
He can strike, but he also got outstruck by Gilbert Burns.
Gilbert's a fucking maniac, dude.
Not lately.
Well, not good at Father Time. All right, what do we got here? We're going for the second beer. We've got a strawberry and watermelon sour from Seeker Brewing, 3.5 ABV.
Excellent.
But,
Yeah, look, you can
put
see Dricus tripping over and knocking Hamzat out.
If I had to put money on it, I would put Hamzat. If I was gonna have to go round combo, I'd go Hamzat second round KO. I'd go, but not KO as in standing. I reckon he takes him down, wears him. I don't think he's gonna tap him. Dricus' ground game's really good.
Yeah, but you would say that about Whittaker too.
Yeah.
Like, after what he did to
There's
Whittaker,
different
I
levels.
wouldn't be surprised if he finishes Dricus quickly.
Like a round.
Because Dricus wasn't, like, dominating Whittaker by any means. He just caught him with that stiff jab on the way in and fucked him up and then finished him. The fight was competitive, for sure. I'd have to watch it again to really have a strong opinion on it.
On
But
which fight, sorry?
Whittaker and Dricus.
I fucking don't even remember.
That's what I'm saying.
How that fight
It
went
was
down.
competitive, but then when you look at what Hamzat did to Whittaker, it's like, Whittaker's one of the greatest of all time, and he just got fucking dominated.
That's so yum. That's actually fucking delicious.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it doesn't have that weird, like, fucking...
No, it's great.
Real sour aftertaste. It's fucking nice.
Shout out, Seeker Brewing.
Seeker. I think we were talking about it in the group chat yesterday. I think no one beats Hamzat at middleweight.
It seems...
I just don't think there's anyone that can beat him. Until the fluffies and all that come up, there's no one.
For fuck's sake. Fluffy ain't coming up, brother.
Fluffy's coming up, bro.
Yeah, he's
fighting
sort of.
Delete. If he beats him, he's fighting a top 5 dude.
And I think that's where it ends for him, unfortunately.
No, because the top 5 now is like people like Izzy and stuff. They're vulnerable.
Yeah, but imagine Izzy versus Fluffy. Like, let's be real
I honestly
here.
think I think Fluffy wins that fight.
Well, if it happens, we'll talk when he gets to the top 5. We'll put some bets on.
In fight years, they're fucking getting on now.
I understand that, but his style is almost perfect for someone like Izzy.
Just walk forward, get
he
hit,
walks
take
forward.
down.
He's a bit of a brawler,
Mexican,
bit of a,
old school Mexican fighter.
And he's tough, but it's like you can be tough, not against someone like Izzy who's going to plant it on the tip of your chin.
Izzy's matched up?
Yeah, he is actually. Who's
against?
Can
you look that up, Ray? Who's that? Who's Izzy fighting?
Is he? Yeah, I thought he was too.
I thought he was matched up. I'm not 100% sure, or if there's
it was
talks.
A very low matchup. No, it is, and I can't remember who it was. And Whittaker's fighting RDR.
Yeah, that's
gangster. I like RDR. I'm not. I'd rather he didn't beat Whittaker, but he's good, man. He's good.
I just hope. Whittaker's fight is he headlining Abu Dhabi, or is he like a co-main?
Yeah, I believe.
Imavev.
That's right.
Is that a rematch?
No, Nasruddin, he already fought him. So he doesn't have another fight yet then.
Alright. Who do you give Izzy? I don't know, man. I just think so many fighters are going to be dropping out and new fighters coming up. That's why we're a bit dirty on MMA right now.
I think if Allen beats Vettori, that's a good match for Izzy, potentially. Because Izzy...
Allen.
That's
not
the wrong weight class.
Wait,
Brandon Allen.
The fucking English bloke.
Yeah. No, he's American.
Is he?
Yeah, he's American.
The one that had the beef
Allen
with...
is English.
No, the one that had the beef with Vettori. They got into a fight at the cast.
Well, they're fighting each other.
Oh, yes.
At the Max and Dustin.
Yeah.
So the winner of that fight would make sense to me to fight Izzy, because Izzy's not in a good run. So he's probably expected to fight someone sort of lower in that top 10 division now and needs a win. And Brandon Allen, if he can beat Izzy, then throws himself into that position of being an actual middleweight contender.
And then you got John Jones just ruining heavyweight.
He's gone. He's done.
I don't think he is.
I think he's gone.
I think the UFC are holding out for the Netflix deal. I think that's what's happening. I think they announced that once they partner with Netflix as the marquee fight.
You sure? Well, or they announced that he's retired or that he's done.
I reckon,
after Netflix pay him a bag.
I really don't think Tom Aspinall would be fucking stupid enough to waste his prime.
Yeah, but at the same time, who else does he fight? Like, who do you want him to fight at this point? He's beaten everyone.
Everyone. He's the champ. Say John Jones retires.
Well, he just fights the number 2 contender.
Tom's regarded as the champ anyway. Everyone thinks Tom's the champ. So, I don't think Tom...
John's wife knows he's the champ.
Yeah. Yes. And fucking... I just don't think Tom Aspinall's that stupid to coast himself out for a whole year to wait for something that's not happening. If he is, he's an idiot.
Unless there's some monetary value in it for him, because at the end of the day, it's not the fighting that he has to worry about. He's beaten all the guys in the top 5. That's not an issue. It's losing money.
Fight Cyril Gunn.
Fight Cyril Gunn. Who's Cyril? Is Cyril on a win streak at the moment? Who's he
coming
fighting?
off a win. I'm pretty sure he's coming off a win.
I'd see that fight. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, that's the only person I believe he hasn't fought.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. But do that. Just do that and fucking be undeniable about it. Like, everyone kind of regards you as the champ anyway.
I mean, he almost is under. When you do that to Pavlovich...
I still think John Jones beats him.
As the days goes on, that becomes less and less likely, though.
The gap definitely is closing. I still think John Jones beats Tom Aspinall. I can tell you how he'll do it as well.
Wrestling.
Yeah, John Jones weaponizes IQ like Morab weaponizes fucking cardio.
Yeah.
He's not going to go and fucking strike with him. He's going to take him down. He's going to wear him. Then he's going to take him down again and wear him. Then he'll start striking with him. And then when he's in the 3rd and the 4th, Tom's fucked.
Yeah.
He's never been there. But, I don't know. That's the biggest fight the UFC can make.
For sure, at the moment. I mean, not even Conor is going to pull anything like that at this stage.
Conor's one person you can say is officially done.
Oh, for sure. But he doesn't even... The pull and the allure of him is completely gone as well. Like
I'd still tune in. But I wouldn't be... It's not like prime Conor fights were like an event.
Agree. Like I would tune into that like I would tune into Dustin and Max. Maybe not even with that much enthusiasm, to be honest with you.
Like a Conor fight, you'd wake up though, and you'd start drinking at 7.
Oh, it was Mystic Mac, the magic. Even when I didn't like Conor, you knew like
Conor
there was
Aldo.
that vibe. Everyone loved him.
Bro, Conor.
We don't need it.
Conor Aldo.
Well, we don't have to.
Conor Alvarez, forever in my mind, will be one of the most special MMA displays
It's one of the
I've
greatest
seen.
sequences in MMA.
Just,
for sure.
but just the lead up to it, the stakes of it. Everyone remembers where they were when it happened. Do you know what I mean? It was just fucking so large. But I don't know. I just hope John Jones fucking fights one more time, just to shut everyone up.
I know. I bet.
Because I like
this is the argument I sort of have with Zach a few times as well. Is like he doesn't actually have to do anything. Like everyone keeps going, oh, he has to beat Tom to do. Like he doesn't actually have to do anything. He's still the greatest light heavyweight of all time. Probably still the greatest fighter of all time. He doesn't have to fight Tom Aspinall. If he does, yeah, maybe he becomes the greatest heavyweight of all time as well. But that's sort of irrelevant when you're the GOAT, isn't it?
John's the greatest combat sports athlete of all time.
Yeah,
No one's going to beat his records. Ever.
You wouldn't think so.
No, there is no... What was he, 21?
It's too quick these days.
Was he 21 or 22?
It moves too fast these days. The skill level and the matchups are just too out of control these days. You don't have that sort of domination anymore.
And, yeah, you say whatever about steroids. Everyone in light heavyweight was on steroids at that point. The run he went on was fucking insane.
Oh, absolutely.
And beating everyone, because he's such a spiteful prick, beating everyone at their own fucking game is just insane.
Yeah.
Like, just taking Daniel Cormier down just to say fuck you, basically.
Essentially.
That's the most shit-hot thing I've ever seen.
Didn't even train for Gus.
Got rock hard. Yeah, did beat DC on fucking a cocaine bender. But, is that the pickle?
It's the pickle beer.
I'm actually excited for this one. We got the pickle beer by Garage Project.
Garage Project are actually insane. They make great beer. When I used to be a craft beer person, Garage Project were up there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. The guy at the store said this was his least favourite, but he hates pickles.
Well, that's kind of gay.
It kind of actual hell smells like dill. Cheers, Luke.
Deal. Cheers. Yeah, but like you said, I mean, look at how Anderson Silva got done at some point as well, and like all your legends sort of time.
I'm going to get so much flack for this, and I'm so sorry, Miles Simpson, because I know he's your favourite fighter. I'm not on the Anderson train.
I was never like a huge fan of him, but he was fantastic. His flow was great. Look at what he did to Forrest Griffin. That fight where he stepped back, just hits him with that little love tap of a jab and just puts Forrest to sleep. And he had some good moments. What he did to Rich Franklin, no one knew how to deal with the tie clinch back then, but that just shows the evolution of MMA now. That's what I'm saying, that the turnover's too quick now because you don't have these guys that are so far ahead of the game anymore.
Do you know when... I wouldn't say I lost respect for Izzy, but do you know when one fight I can recall where I was like, what are you doing?
Obviously Anderson.
It was the Anderson fight. It was like, you could so finish him. Like, why are you scared?
It's just the respect, man. You don't want to KO your fucking your hero. And fair enough. But
don't take the fight then.
No, you can still beat some. Like
you're getting paid $5 million for a sparring match, mate.
Then everyone watching has their own life. If he
flatlined Anderson, it would have been pretty.
That's what I'm saying.
Stupid.
He didn't want to do that, and it's like everyone watching can say what you want, but you're sitting at home on your couch, and he's making millions of dollars being a world champion, so they can. Well,
Cormier did the same thing. Was it Cormier that?
Cormier was nice to him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess you're still only one punch away.
But at the same time, you don't want to go to work and fucking fight for your life every shift you go to work either, do you? Like, sometimes you want to go in and...
Anderson could walk in this shed and fucking beat the shit out of all three of us easily. Like, he's still a high-level fighter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Even at 50 years old.
He beat, was it Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Jr., yeah.
Was that him?
Isn't that who Jake Paul's fighting next?
Is it?
I could be wrong, but I thought that was happening.
And then he's fighting Gervonta Davis.
Really?
Yeah, but it's an exhibition because no one will sanction it because they're like 30 kilos apart.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean,
Javonta's going to fuck him up.
Davis might still fuck him up. I was going to say.
Not might.
Yeah, probably will.
Davis will fucking knock him out, dude.
Probably will. I heard Jake talking about he's going to fight Tommy again.
Fury?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's so out of my realm of fucking my algorithm now.
Jake made a good point that Tommy hasn't gotten any better since then, and I have to agree.
Tommy's just... He lives off his last name. Bro. Yeah, he's just hot as fuck.
He is a handsome man.
He's fucking hot as fuck.
Bang on with that, yeah.
But there's... Yeah, the MMA, I feel like now, it's just... I think we're just bitter. We are what other people would have been like with Cain, Ortiz, Liddell. When they all left, they would have been like, MMA shit now.
Well, that's when I was around, was when Chuck Liddell was a champion, Tito was sort of around, Frank Mir was a heavyweight champion, like around those days when I started, I was like 12 when I started watching the UFC. I used to rent it from Blockbuster. So it'd be like 3 months old and you'd get the pay-per-view DVD.
That's hilarious.
I used to rent them and just watch them in my lounge room, and then my older cousin would come over and we'd all just fucking fight each other.
Do you know, you mentioned Forrest before. My theory, I reckon Forrest could slip in for Dana White's role. Because Dana doesn't do heaps behind the scenes, I don't think, anymore, besides obviously showing face and maybe some potential matchmaking, helping with matchmaking, and maybe some like fighter logistics with meetings and contracts. I think Forrest would be a great face of the UFC.
Yeah, I can't.
He's hosting tough.
I mean, the fact that he gets credit for, him and Stephan Bonner obviously get a lot of credit for getting the UFC where it is. They obviously have a lot of respect, and
he runs the PIs. He knows the business.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they obviously have a lot of favor with the UFC, so I can see that. I mean, obviously depends when Dana wants to step down. He seems to me like the kind of guy that'll work until he dies. So
I seen a thing the other day.
You posted it. I think you shared it with us.
No. I didn't post this to the group. I was watching Weighing In, I think. Or I can't remember what podcast I was watching, and they said it, and I was like, oh fuck, wow. I didn't think about it. Dana's obviously promoting, helping promote boxing now. Who's he promoting? Oh, two massive names. Crawford's fighting Canelo.
Oh, Crawford and Canelo, yeah.
I believe he's helping promote that.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, the UFC promotion, like the promoting of like fights has been pretty shit. So it's like, how would you feel as a fighter if your Dana White is off promoting fucking boxing? Like, is he done with MMA now? Because he loves boxing. Maybe this is like the thing where he moves into that space.
But that's like leaving your firstborn. I don't think so. Like, how could you leave the UFC after what you've built? I don't think he ever would. I don't know. I don't know him, but like, why would you want to leave the empire that you've built to go do something?
Now he's got boxing? A new baby. He's got TKO boxing.
Everyone knows boxing's corrupt. Boxing does not. I don't care if you got Crawford and Canelo. Crawford and Canelo are going to fight once a year. You aren't making that much money off boxing. There's 7 people in boxing that anyone gives a fuck about, and majority of the time, 2 of them are fighting each other.
If TKO boxing does well and it kind of unifies the belts and it becomes more of a situation where it's like the leader of boxing like the UFC is, would you be more inclined to watch it?
I still do watch it. I'm a big boxing fan.
Really?
Yeah, I
just find it so unapproachable.
It depends who's fighting again.
I'll watch a big one, but if you told me who's the 147.5 champ, I wouldn't fucking know.
Yeah, their weight classes...
It's whack.
Confuse me. But there's a lot of fighters in boxing that I'm a huge fan of. Gervonta Davis being one of them. Lomachenko. You've got Terence Crawford. You've got Errol Spence before Errol Spence flipped his car.
I feel like those are the names that kind of transcend boxing, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you consider yourself still kind of on a casual basis of it, though?
Yeah. Oh, only because you see these guys coming up on the scene. So you sort of...
Lomachenko's the one that kind of really got me into boxing.
Okay.
But I would still consider myself very base level casual, because it's mesmerizing watching a boxer. Like, have you been... you been to, like, pure boxing gym before?
Of course. I fought a pure boxer.
How fucking upsetting is it?
It's horrible. It's horrible. So I had a fight in Melbourne, and I fought a shoot boxing champion in Melbourne who was, I don't know, their state shoot boxing champion, and they told me to do a shoot boxing fight with this guy, and I head kicked him in the first round and KO'd him. And they were like, oh, we've got this boxer. He's only an amateur. He's had 10 fights and 9 KOs, but we think you'd be able to, like, you'd have a good fight with him. And I won by head kick. I wasn't a boxer. I'd been training at Red Star for a little bit, so my hands got a little bit better, and I thought, fuck it, we'll see what happens. This guy beat the fuck out of me for 5 rounds, dude.
It's so deterring.
I had the referee asking me if I knew what state I was in.
It's so deterring, dude. When I remember I went to TJ's, so I was like, oh yeah, I can fucking throw some hands. And then you go into a boxing gym with people that have only been training boxing, and you cannot hit them flush. Like, you just can't.
No, they'll just roll. They'll just roll.
Even if you think you've hit them, you just have not even touched it. They're not hurt by it at all. And then you got the footwork. And then you got the range. And it's
positioning.
Just so different. And they're so much tighter in that. Because they only have to worry about 2 weapons.
Exactly right.
They're so tight with their fucking stance. And then they got 12 ounces on. So everything's just fucking hitting the guard. It's just a nightmare.
But they're boxing... Yeah, it's closer to the sport side of the combat sports than it is combat, I would say. It's still combat. I know boxers are going to hate me and you're still fighting, but it's more on that. Favours more closer towards the sport than the combat.
It's not as fun to watch as MMA.
Not at all. And I don't even know why kickboxing has never really taken off, because everyone loves MMA and they love stand-up.
Do you know what I reckon it is? I reckon it's the clinching.
But like K1 and Glory?
I'd say 4-ounce Muay Thai is probably my second favourite sport right now.
It's fantastic.
Caged 4-ounce Muay Thai.
Have you gone back and watched old K1 Max?
Nah. I've never really dabbled in... It was a Dream, K1, Glory.
K1 Max in its prime had... Like, you've heard of Borkow.
Yeah.
And Masato. And, you know, Petrosian. Like, these guys. Andy Sauer. You would have heard of all these fighters in the time. When K1 Max was in its prime, it literally had the best fighters in the world in their promotion. Like, it was the only one you could go to. So you had, you know, Borkow fighting Andy Sauer, and, you know, my favourite fighter, Artur Kashenko, would be fighting Albert Kraus. And you had, like, these were regarded as the best Dutch fighters, the best Thai fighters, the best Japanese fighters, Europeans. And they'd all come together and they'd have like a 32-man tournament. And you'd fight, you move to the next round, the 16. But then once you got to the 8...
They're doing multiple fights a night, yeah?
So, 8-man. Then once they got to the final 4, you would fight twice in one night. So not only have you got 3 of the best fighters in the world standing across from you, you have to fight 2 of them. And beat 2 of them in the same night to win.
Did you ever fight in a tournament?
I fought in a tournament, but I lost in the first round.
You'd have to... I don't know. They wouldn't. In my head, I'd be like, oh, you got to fight different to mitigate damage to yourself. But they wouldn't, because they're like... If you're winning a tournament, you're fucking different.
Well, some of the best fights were the first round of the final 4, and they went to extra rounds.
Yeah, that's
So you're fighting... You know, at the end of 3 3-minute rounds, the judges had it as a draw. So you'd go to a 4 3-minute round.
Where did you start? Oh, by the way, just read out that.
This is a day to be at the zoo fruited sour, and it's a 5.3%.
We're jumping from 5.3. We're jumping from 6.7 straight to 10. After
you
that.
bought the beers, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'm not looking forward to that fucking sludge beast. When did you start? Where'd you start?
So originally, I started at. I think it ended up being called Lonsdale.
You were fighting. You were fighting when like. Knees was popping. You were fighting when like Flinders had a reign of terror.
Flinders were probably the best when I came up, and I started at a place in Lonsdale very briefly, like a BJC. So they had like the coloured singlets and things like that. I was there for a little bit, and then I moved to a gym in Aldinga called Southern Thai Boxing, and I had majority of my fights out of that gym. Small gym sort of start out, and we lacked experience, and it showed because we didn't win a lot of fights. But
just dudes punching on in a shed.
Just essentially, some of them just punched. Some of us,
dude, that's what
on sheds.
That's what fucking most gyms were in the early mid 2000s. You had fucking Kim Robinson and Miles in a shed throwing around bags doing MMA, which no one knew what the fuck MMA
Kim was like the first guy doing it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was 8. It was 2007, 2008. This is when I sort of started having fights and. Easy Fury did a couple at Etsa Park, if you remember that back in the day.
Before it fucking went to shit, Etsa.
Yeah, so it was at West Beach was always good because you got to see like those Kim Johnson fights and Paul Sawinski, Charles August, like all them were out there, and they were awesome. And that was the good day. That was like $20 Easy Fury tickets. It was fucking packed to the rafters each way.
Gary
the fights
Williams.
were awesome. Gary Williams, and so he was my favorite local fighter.
I seen Gary. He doesn't know who I am at all, but I obviously know who he is. And I seen him after the M16 Open. I seen him at what's the pub near Brighton, the big one. The Warradale, maybe?
Yeah.
I think I seen him at the he was at the same pub, and I seen him. I was like, "Fuck, it's Gary Williams." And
he's
someone
huge
was like,
too. I think he's like 6'3".
Someone was like, "Who's Gary Williams?" I'd never watched like local league Muay Thai, and I was like, "That's like that was the man back in the day.
He was the man. Yeah.
That was the Jack Spacey. That was the boogeyman.
He was the boogeyman. Yeah,
he was the boogeyman
until Izzy came here.
Yes. Oh, they fought.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And fucking Izzy had a fight with Steve Behan. Behan was fighting.
Well, Steve stepped in, so it was supposed to be Gary initially, and Gary got injured, I think, and Steve stepped in, and obviously not a fantastic night, but...
Yeah, they stitched up Kim. They were like, yeah, he's a pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so do you remember your first fight?
I remember my first fight. It was against JB. Josh Braithwaite.
Was that your first fight?
Yeah.
Shout out to fucking JB.
Great guy.
He's training MMA now.
Is he?
Yeah.
We're too old for that, bro.
No, you fucking... do you know what's funny about those Flinders fighters? You always... Josh obviously was, hell inactive for ages, but Alan... Wongy fucking ingrained hard work into him. He beat his fighters down to a nub. Yeah. And they just have the... Josh easily now, even if he blew up to 120...
It's mental.
He could run 10K. It's he can just do it.
After my shoulder surgery, I could run 10K cold. It doesn't matter. It's just... You can just do it. But you have a base too. Your body can remember that kind of stuff. But I think the same about Simon. So he's the Red Star coach. And he did this. He used to always say to me, he's like, it's just mental, dude. You can do anything. It's mental. And I just used to think... He almost had that, Goggins mentality before anyone knew what Goggins was. And I'll give him credit for that. Because, he'd have, bursitis in his hips and fuck knees. And then we would complain about doing sprints or something. And he would just do it next to us. And he hadn't trained. We were training for fights. And he would just work it out. And he's like, it's just mental, man. And I was like...
There was something in the water at that Flinders gym back in the day, man. That was just breeding fucking animals.
And some people come out, there's got... Miles would be similar as well, he's getting older and he still fucking throws down and does everything he's doing. It's just ingrained in him from training at an early age, I think, and giving up that sacrifice of, your early 20s and your late teens of having fun. Instead, you instill this sort of hard work mentality, and then you don't have abs, or you blow out and you sort of hate yourself. You look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, this can't be the same person I used to be. So you just don't let yourself go down that path too far.
Dude, Miles, I'm not saying this because I fucking love Miles. I honestly think he can compete now. In the Australian MMA circuit, I honestly think he can compete. He'll fucking strap on the glove sometimes and just whoop these just put people in check.
Yeah.
And it's what the fuck?
Yeah, you got to. And for sure, I have no doubt. It's just as we get older, our bodies fail us. And it's not the actual doing of the task. It's the path of doing the camp and everything like that, where you've got to keep yourself put together when you're also trying to cut weight and you're doing double sessions a day and all this. And you as we get older and our bodies are worn and injured and re-injured, it's the likelihood of getting through 10 weeks or 8 weeks is fucking... It's hard.
Was your objective always just to train and casually fight, or did you have higher expectations of your fighting career and then be like, maybe not?
No, I never even thought to fight.
You just went with the flow.
I just got picked on at school.
Yeah, I could see that.
Twink.
Hell ginger, twink.
Yeah. No, I just got bullied, and
the story. It's the story of every not every, but it's the classic story.
It's common, yeah. It's just I just didn't want to get bullied anymore, and I was like, well, a friend said come do Muay Thai, and I went and did Muay Thai, and that was 20 years ago, and still train to this day when I'm not injured. But yeah, now I do obviously in jiu-jitsu, and I'm just sort of on that. I've done a lot, and I wouldn't say I was the best striker, but I've gotten good at striking, and I sort of wanted to bridge into doing something else, so I went back to being a beginner and doing jiu-jitsu, and now I just don't... Look, I might have it because I've had so many shoulder surgeries and I've had so many issues with my body and stuff, but it's I'll always stay training. I don't think I could ever imagine my life without training now.
It'd make you hell volatile if you stopped.
It does. It makes you sad. It really does.
And it's not even the training, it's the camaraderie. It's finding a good gym is so important.
Absolutely. And when I went out to 10th Planet, it's I'm a bit of a quirky...
There'd be some
weird,
fucking...
You know what I mean? So I went out there and it's just people that you can sort of be yourself with, and we all just have a bit of a laugh, and they're a really, really good group of people. And I'm not a very, one of those people that likes to get close or bonded with people very easily, because of the fact that being a coach and training people for years, you sort of see people just come and go so often that you try not to get too invested in people. But it's been difficult out there because a lot of them are just so committed, and they've been around the whole time I've been there, and it was one of the first times I felt like back at home training again.
Do you know what one of my fucking favourite like South Australian success stories is, man? Trinity. What Zach and Bino and everyone have done at that club, because
even through the adversity of people leaving and sort of swapping over and things as well, yeah.
Like, I fucking sometimes like look at like Zach will obviously post stories about the classes and that, and it's just packed, and they got such good fighters, and like it's just they've done so well in that fucking club.
They've got a good culture there too.
Bro, it's exactly the same as M16. M16's culture, there's no dickheads. It's just fun. You can cross train wherever you want. Like there's no gym. There's no gym politics.
They're not scared of losing people because they understand that their product is.
No,
good.
It's like go to a gym. You've probably been to gyms before where it's you started in Muay Thai. The most like besides jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai can be the most culty thing of all time.
Oh, absolutely. All martial arts are pretty culty. But I know gyms where I'd go, oh, can I come down? I'd love to do some sparring, and they're like, no, we don't let other gyms come spar. And I was like, oh, okay.
How are you going to get better?
Some people just, I understand it from potentially like an injury point of view. People don't trust other gyms, which I can absolutely understand, but I think that's sort of a case-by-case basis you could probably go on as well.
I think the culture of just going in, sparring and fucking each other up is majority fucking done now. I don't know. I just...
Everyone's realised that we're all, like, everyone's trying to get better, and at the end of the day, if you're going to fight someone to be the best, you're going to fight them anyway. What does it matter if you got to train with them? Like, you're going to find their secrets just as much as they're going to find yours. So there's no point in gatekeeping what you're doing.
You used to... Where did you fight under? You fought under Red Star?
I had 4 or 5 fights under Red Star. Yeah, I had one under Gorilla Fight Club, which was my last fight. And then I had, like 14 or 13 out of my first gym, something like that.
How many fights you had, cunt?
20. 19.
You've had 20 fights?
Yeah, 19 Muay Thai, kickboxing, and 1 boxing fight, yeah.
And I'm trying to start on you.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it.
I thought you were like 6 and 15.
No, not at all.
You sure?
100%.
You don't have CTE or anything, you're just making it up?
I might have CTE.
That's
the problem.
Do you recall a time in the fight where you realised you weren't going to win it and you were about to get pumped?
Oh, yeah. Look, that's...
Dude, first...
Fighting JB.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, JB had a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 fights, and I fought, I think we were 5 kilos.
Because you both kick like trucks. JB kicks like
I don't know if I did back then. I was 68 kilos, and I think JB was 73. So I gave up like a lot of weight and a lot of experience, and JB just put the work in on me. And I knew pretty early I wasn't going to win, but he just beat the fuck out of me.
I remember the first time I took JB to fucking M16, bro. I took him to M16, and he started... Obviously, Miles knew him and shit, and fucking Watto and everyone. And we were all chilling. What do you want? You a drink. Oh, yeah. We were all chilling, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to start kicking the bag. He started kicking the fucking bag, and it sounded like a gunshot. And JB's the reason why my nose doesn't work anymore.
Good.
Yeah, he gave it to me. I remember we were talking heaps of shit, and Miles goes, all right, you can all spar. Just make sure you go hell light. Sav and JB, you two can kill each other. And then Josh, he's so long. And my biggest problem always when sparring was getting in on tall people. I just really fucking struggle to get in when someone knows how to use their limbs very well. And I fucking lunged in, bro, and I'll never forget. He's hit me with an uppercut, and then he's just gone a left straight down the pipe. So my head's gone, and I've heard Miles go, ooh! And then he goes, boof. And then Miles was like, oh no. I was like, fuck.
Sav's dead.
Sav is dead. What do we have here? So, this guy that I bought these off said this is his beer of the year.
Okay.
This is his favourite beer.
That's quite good. Can we have an interval in this thing?
We actually will, because I need to get a jumper because it's fucking freezing.
Good, I need to piss.
Wait up. So we're back right now, and I thought I'd ask you, do you think I'm the best addition to the group chat of all time?
Okay, yeah. Do you know what? That's a hard call to quantify, because you could also be part of the worst part of the group chat too. But you do make me giggle probably more than anyone else. I'll give you that. You've been a quality addition.
For people who don't know, I've always been a social gypsy. I have many friend groups. And like, you kind of mold to the friend group you're hanging out with. You match their energy. As soon as I entered this group chat, I found my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I found my people. Every single person in that group chat that is active in it, I found my people. It's very niche. It's not for everyone.
It's not for, but it's boys chat.
When did it start?
Oh, years ago.
Years.
So this.
Who's the founders?
Almost everyone. Like,
really?
Legitimately. So a lot of those, like Danny, Adam, Matty, Russ, Liam, like, we all used to we've been friends since we were teenagers. Then we've trained together when we first were training at Aldinga together. Nick and I went to high school together. Dale and I knew each other from school days. It's just, for the most part, we've been 15-year friends. TC and I went to primary school together.
That's so funny.
Jimmy and I have known each other for about, since I started my career, so about 15 years ago.
Bro, that's so funny. I fucking, like, it's the only time in my life I'll literally be sitting on the couch and I'll be locked.
Giggling.
You know, but you know when, like, when the group chat's popping and you're just glued?
Yeah.
And I'll be fucking like this, and my missus will be talking, and I'll just be giggling to myself, and she's like, "You're on the fucking group chat, aren't you?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, Zach just said this."
Well, to give you context, Zach, Kingy, and Reese would probably be the newest additions to that chat, and Reese I've known for 15 years.
When did you get inducted into it, Reese?
3 years, maybe.
So I'm the newest member.
You're for sure the newest. Yeah.
When do you get power to induct someone?
You could probably induct someone now, I'm sure.
I swear.
I don't know if we trust your opinion though or not.
I swear on God, I got someone. Do you know who it is?
No.
That fucking waiter from Golden Boy at Friendsmas.
Actually, that way, yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. He can. He's on. I've still got his selfie on my.
God.
It's my background on my phone.
On fucking. Yeah, mine's.
I fucking wish it was. Actually, I'm gonna make.
On God, that cunt deserved an invite to the group chat.
I love it. We tried to tip him, and he's like, "Nah, one of the boys one of the boys gave me $100 bill." We're like, sorry, good on you. You got looked after.
Oh, dude.
But nah, the best thing about that group is it's like a lot of guys out there don't even have 3 friends.
You need some fucking thick skin though, because you're going to get checked in that group.
But you would also, you're going to get fucking roasted in that group. Doesn't matter who you are. But if you post in that group that you're fucking need help at 2 a.m, you're probably going to get 6 guys wake up and fucking come out and help you. So,
has anyone ever left?
Yeah, I don't.
Don't say. Who.
We don't need to go in.
But has people left?
We had a guy, and it's a shame that he left, because I went to high school with him, and he was a good guy, but he just couldn't deal with the banter. Like, even though he knew us, he'd known us for probably 10 years, all of us.
It can get pretty fucking aggressive. Like I remember when I just split up with my ex, and I've just paid her out. I was just copping it. But in like a helpful way. But also, if you accomplish something in your life, that whole group would congratulate you and wish the best. Like, that's what you get with that group. We're going to fucking give it to you, and you're going to build resilience like no other. But you're also going to have a group of 15, 20 guys that are going to fucking watch you climb a mountain and support you the whole way. So there's no like tall poppy syndrome in that group or anything like that. They're just the best guys ever. Honestly, one of the people I'm so happy I've met in the last 2 years. This is so irrelevant for anyone who's listening as well, but I don't care. It's your podcast. Yeah, it's my podcast. Charles. Oh, I love that twink. That little twink motherfucker, dude. He's so cute. And he's a weapon too, yeah? I was training him for a fight. He was supposed to fight a couple of times, and he just didn't have the heart. No, well, yeah, we can. That's another conversation. But faked an injury. No, look, he dislocated his shoulder in front of me a week and a half out from a fight in light sparring, throwing a right hand that didn't connect. Was he good? He was fine. Was he from? Is he originate from Sydney? New South Wales? From Newcastle, yeah. And he came over. He was at 10th Planet, and he's from Newcastle. He looks like he's from Newcastle.
He acts like it too.
Have you been to Newcastle?
Yeah, briefly.
It's kind of like Byron Bay, Glenelg. It's like one of those Bay
It's
Area
like Victor
people.
Harbour, but bigger.
Yeah, just hell like, like, oh, what's happening today?
Charles is like,
Just docile. He's fucking such a good dude though, bro.
nah, he's a good lad, and I gave him a little bit too much stick because he's sort of the reason I stopped coaching people, but it wasn't his fault. I was already off before him because I was coaching people before COVID. And
What do we got now? Sorry, we got this guy recommended this Soul Stealer Fruited Oat Cream
Oat
IPA.
This will be good.
What does IPA stand for?
India Pale Ale.
Say it again. Indian Pale Ale.
Indian Pale Ale.
They step on it with their feet.
No, they just don't shower before they prepare it.
I have some opinions. And I can say this because I am a minority.
Yeah.
I'm from a minority background,
Well,
as are you.
You know, white people are minorities technically. Yeah.
Well, in Australia now, yeah.
No, in the world, 7 to 8% of people in the world are white.
It's actually kind of impressive how much damage they've done, considering that.
Damage. Ask South Africa about that.
Dude, I'm actually got to ask, what's homeboy from South Africa? He's got a mad story, and Lyle from Cardio Flex.
Oh, really? Okay.
Do you know Lyle from Cardio Flex?
No, I don't.
I believe, I'm going to butcher the weight class. I don't know if he's the middleweight champ or something. He's a fucking animal. Used to train with DDP.
Hell yeah.
And he's South African, and he's white.
So I trained in Thailand with a South African guy once from Riddler's gym. He was over there with Kaylee Reese. And surely you would know her.
Kaylee Reese.
She's like one of the greatest female Muay Thai fighters in Australian history. Maybe in the world.
I'm gonna surprise you right now, and I'm gonna tell you the only female Muay Thai fighter I follow is Jazzy Pa.
Understandable.
For the talent.
So you would know Riddler's gym in WA.
I know Riddler's,
Darren Reese.
Yes.
It's her. It's his wife.
Yeah, right.
And she was a WMC world champion. She was one of the best ever.
Do you know who actually she would have been around in your time, but I wasn't how invested into Muay Thai when she was active. Carly Gangel's sister.
Oh, did Carly's sister fight? Did she?
She was a fucking Kayla. Oh, I don't know if it's Kayla Gangel or she was a fucking animal apparently. Really good.
Okay.
I don't think women's Muay Thai and stuff was really prominent back then. It's a lot more prominent now. And like, have you been to a Pride?
There was some good girls in Adelaide back in the day.
Carly's a fucking weapon. Carly's a legend.
Carly's great. Her technique's fantastic. When I did a podcast back in the day, we had her on and had a chat to her, and she's great. Yeah.
No one in South Australia right now is doing more for the Muay Thai scene than Carly.
Oh, absolutely.
No
yeah.
one.
Pride's the best show in SA now.
Everyone's doing their bit. Like there's the border town shows. There's all these like little shows, but no one is lifting Muay Thai as much as Carly Gangel is.
It's definitely not. It's not where it was. It for sure was in its prime back.
Muay Thai is coming
when I was fighting.
It's really edging back, man. M16, I tell you. I don't want to fucking speak for it. I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm just giving just off the top of my head. There wasn't people just fell off with like after like Sean Gilligan, Tyson Watson, after Cody and all of that left. There wasn't a real big demand for people coming in and wanting to fight Muay Thai, so we didn't have any Muay Thai fighters in the gym. But now it's got a massive resurgence, man. Like,
there's no shows though now. That's like what I'm talking about is like we had Knees of Fury, but outside of Knees of Fury, you had guys like Eugene Eckelboom in Perth, who was a 76 kilo world champion, beating everyone. You had John Wayne Parr, you had Bruce McPhee, you had Soren Monkonsong up in Queensland that were beating people, and then you had guys in Melbourne who were doing kickboxing that were like the promotions and the level of competition in Australia back then was insane. Evolution was one of the biggest Muay Thai shows in the world. They would bring over the best of the best to fight John Wayne Parr. They would bring
Are you as like autistically endeavored into Muay Thai as much, if not more, than MMA?
More, yeah, for sure. So old school Muay Thai and MMA.
MMA is obviously now your main focus.
Yeah.
But if you could only watch one sport for the rest of your life?
Well, actually, it's for sure changed because now I do jiu-jitsu and it's like I love doing jiu-jitsu and I find it fascinating.
What one is the closest to your heart?
For sure, striking will always be Muay Thai will always be the closest thing.
Dude, I'm telling you now, if no one has ever watched caged 4-ounce, no, it doesn't even have to be caged. If no one's ever watched 4-ounce Muay Thai, I personally think that's on par with MMA for me. It's problem, all of it's for people who's like, oh, grappling's go. Why are they taking them down? It's everything you want.
Agree.
It's every single thing you want.
I fully agree. You need to watch 2000's K1 Max. Nothing, absolutely nothing competes
Are these the Uber Reams?
The K1 Max was 71 kilos. This is the Borkows. This is the Andy Sauer, the Giorgio Petrosians. This is where they're fighting 3-3-minute rounds and they absolutely have to win to get to the next round, or you go to an extra round.
Or even just go and watch the Badaharis. These guys
did not stop throwing combinations. Some of the best fights in kickboxing history. You would have seen Zambides and Shahid. Surely you've seen that fight. They say it's the greatest kickboxing fight of all time.
You don't think I know about Zambides?
And Shahid, do you know the fight I'm talking about, though?
It was a Turk.
Yes. That's K1 Max.
But
that was almost every fight. You'd have a guy getting dropped with a head kick, then he comes back and it goes to an extra round, and you've got two dudes slugging it out in a war, and then they're fighting 4 hours later at the end of the night.
So those were big fights because they didn't turn political, but because Turkey invaded Cyprus and still occupy a lot of Cyprus. When Zambides would fight these people, it would be like.
No, the fight was big because they dropped each other 9 times in the first round.
Oh, I mean culturally, like people would tune in.
But what I'm saying, I don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, dude,
I give a fuck about watching two dudes beat the fuck out of each other.
They used to call him everyone. There's every 4 years someone coins this. He was the Mike Tyson of kickboxing.
Well, he was called Iron Mike Zambides.
Yeah.
So. But
5'7".
But when he got to
that
upper echelon of the K1 guys, he would lose. So he'd lose to the Borkows, he'd lose to the Andy Sauers, he'd lose to the Ardakashenkos, the Masatos. Like those guys were fucking insane. And then you looked at how good those were, and Giorgio Petrosian joined K1 Max, and Giorgio Petrosian started stopping all of them and winning easily. And then the K1 Max didn't have any money, and they didn't pay him, and then they went under. And they were the greatest kickboxing promotion ever. That was
Rico Verhoeven and Badahari had some good fights.
Yeah, but that was glory.
But under the same rule set.
Yes, same. But
can you just differentiate?
You need to go back and watch K1
for people. So, dude, we could on my page because for the Patreon,
they're all on YouTube.
But for the Patreon, I'm uploading. I want to do a series where I react to old fights that I haven't seen.
I would love to show you some K1 fights. Let's do that. If I could show you Ardakashenko is my favorite combat fighter of all time. You wouldn't know him. He's from the Ukraine. He was a 21-year-old that got adopted, raised by his father that was a kickboxing coach, and ended up getting, in my opinion, he fought Masato in the final of the K1 Max Grand Prix. He dropped Masato in the second round twice. And the fight went to an extra round after the third round, after he'd beaten the fuck out of him, and he lost at the end of the round. He was 21 years old.
What I want to say, you'll be able to... I can try and explain it. So for people who don't watch fights, the difference between the rule sets of Muay Thai, K1, and kickboxing is...
Oh, I can explain this easily.
But between K1 and Muay Thai, you're only allowed to throw one knee in the clinch, and then you have to separate. So elbows.
No, you can clinch with one hand.
And then you can throw one knee.
You can throw one knee, and then you
separate.
Break. Yes.
And no elbows, obviously.
No elbows, yeah.
And the difference
between... But you can throw step-up knees and all that. You just... Once you grab, knee, you let go.
And the difference between K1 and kickboxing?
I believe...
Under a rule set.
K1 kickboxing doesn't allow
no
knees.
Clinching.
No clinch, no knees.
So it's basically literally boxing with kicks.
Well, original kickboxing was you had to throw a certain amount of kicks above the waist.
Yeah.
So I think it was 5 or 10 kicks you had to throw above the waist. And then the Thais came over in these open rule sets and started beating the fuck out of people.
Dude, I'll never forget. So were you at the event where Knees of Fury, I think it was like their last big show before they went to Dom Polsky, they went to the Thebby Theatre and Josh fought?
Yep. That's when Izzy...
No.
Izzy fought at Thebarton Theatre a couple of times.
So the last time they went there, Braithwaite fought. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if it was his last fight, but Josh got his jaw broken in the first round, knocked out on the ropes in the first round, fought to a draw. I don't know how he did it.
I remember that fight, actually.
I don't know how he did it. And there was one fight that right before the fight, they changed the rules, so it was a pure boxing match. And I was so fucking stoned. I was like, am I losing my mind right now? Kick him. Like, they were standing so square.
Dude, I had one fight where I was fighting for a state title, and I weighed in 300 grams overweight, and it doesn't matter for a title fight. Like, we still fought, but you can't. I couldn't
win the title.
He was the state champ. I couldn't take the belt off him because I was 300 grams over.
It's a bit fucking bit lazy, mate.
But dude, I lost 23.
What were you fighting
I lost 23 kilos.
What were you fighting at?
I fought at 73, but I was coming down from like 95. I hadn't fought in a couple of years. That was my first fight for Red Steer. I'm not about 93 now.
You sit on 93 now.
About that, yeah.
The fact that Josh used to made sub 70 is wild to me.
Josh was 72, 73. He was, and then 76. He was like mid 70s. But I agree. Like, I couldn't make 70s now.
You're the perfect example of you would go up in weight and be natural, and he would like be the weight class above.
Well,
it's like Islam and JDM.
That'll be normal, yeah.
JDM could go up. Islam, that's his max. Do you know what I mean? There's the same.
Islam, I feel like that'll be comfortable for him, to be honest. 170.
Oh, I don't know about... Oh, we're just about to open... Shout out to Jacob Barter. He got us B2 Bomber. Apparently, this is a very sought-after beer in the beer world. Mac 14, it's called. The Mac 14 B2 Bomber, 750 mils, 10% AVV. Oh, apparently, this is the one. What was I saying?
No, I was just going to say when...
Oh, yes. You're 300 grams.
Yeah, no, so I fought the state champ at the time, and then when we got to fight night, when I missed weight, they said, well, we won't do 5 rounds, we'll do 3. And I said, well, why? We've trained for 5 rounds. Like, let's just do 5 rounds. Like, nothing has to change except the fact that I can't win the belt. Like, nothing else has to change. And they were like, no, we only want to do 3 rounds. And I said, okay, well, we'll just do 3 rounds. Then we get to the fight, and I'm warming up, and I'm out the back, and then someone comes in from the production team, and they go, so this is this fight, 3 rounds, modified Thai rules. And I said, no, not modified Thai rules. It's a full Thai rules fight. And they go, no, it's 3 rounds now. We're not fighting with elbows now. I was like, no, we're fighting like. I've just done a fucking 10-week fight camp. We're fighting with elbows.
In your head, does that like fucking really frazzle you?
Well, it annoyed me because my best weapons were knees and elbows. So
You're taking away one of
my best weapons. So we went through all this, and they said he is not fighting with elbows, essentially. And I was like, all right, well, we're not fighting with elbows. Fuck it. I'll just go out there and fight. It doesn't matter. And in the end, it didn't make a difference because I knocked him out in the second round. But it was, it's frustrating to do I get it. We're not fighting for the belt anymore, but like mentally we've worked to this point of like 5 rounds. We're throwing elbows. We're doing this. Like I want to be in a real fight. And I was sort of coming to an age where I wanted to be that person, I guess.
Has anyone ever missed weight against you?
No.
That seems to be like a real big... Like, you don't know what was in his head as well with the weight miss, because some people really take that personally.
Well,
they think you're cheating.
If it wasn't a title fight, 300 grams it's 300 grams. Yeah, but it's not a big deal.
So, I don't know. In some people's heads, they take it as cheating because you haven't drained the extra 300.
Yeah, if you'd seen me, I was on debt. Like, because I'd had a massive break off and I had so much weight to lose over a short period of time, I just couldn't do it. Like, I did everything I possibly could to, and I know I did everything I could to make it.
But sometimes you just can't
because the next fight after that, I made 72.
Yeah.
So I was 1.5 kilos lighter the next fight because my body was was already there, and he was in so that was the tournament, the 4-man, and he was on the other side of the bracket to me in that tournament.
For people who don't watch fighting as well, we're talking like 300 grams. You're like, oh, that's a fucking loaf of bread. Like,
it's nothing.
It's nothing, but it's nothing at the local level. But when you see it in the higher levels, I feel like it means a lot more.
It for sure can mean a lot more.
Only like Islam is like, just say Islam is supposed to make 155, but he's fighting at 156. That means so much more because he's not diminished, and that extra pound, which is 200 grams or whatever, or 500 grams, 5.6 grams or whatever, he knows how to use that. Like,
well, I think their issue is that you just haven't depleted yourself to the level you could have.
Yeah, which is stupid.
That their fighter did deplete themselves to. So they're like, you're trying to have an advantage over us.
It's the most archaic fucking thing in fighting. It's stupid.
I'm actually not a fan of it at all. I
see why it's important.
But the thing is, Sean O'Malley and Morab are the same weight probably the next day. Maybe 5 pounds. So let's say there might be 2 kilos between them. All right, 2 kilos.
Yeah, but then you get weight
somewhat.
bullies.
But do you know what I mean? Like, they're both heavier. They're both going to be. They weigh in at 135. They're probably both 147.
Yeah, but then you get weight bullies like Islam that weighs in at 155, but then he walks in at 185.
I agree, and that's a problem too. But
it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Like, if you can bring your body to that point, you're not even fighting at your full capacity anyway. That's why the JDM fight's exciting, because you're gonna. I really think Craig Jones has figured out the answer to Dagestani wrestling.
We will see.
No, we will. And I won't say who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone who's actually very involved with the UFC. I'll tell you off camera. I was talking to someone who's very well involved in the UFC, sees a lot of fighters. He said, he's an Aussie as well, JDM will not touch Islam. Like, that's how good he is. And I believe it, but I think Islam's going to shoot for a takedown. He might get him down.
I don't think he is.
I think JDM gets straight back up, and I think Islam's like, oh my God, you're so strong. I think JDM touches him, and he's like, oh my God, you hit so hard. It's just so different.
But yeah, that's a very subjective opinion, though.
You have $1,000. Who do you put it on?
Islam.
Really?
It's only because you've got to have, like, proof of work.
Not shitting on Bilal. No. Take all the banter away from it. Bilal's amazing.
Bilal's legit. Bilal's legit. He's
amazing fighter. Islam's very different.
Let me defend my opinion. Then you come at me. So, proof of work is probably a huge thing. And the main thing that I sort of weigh on is Islam has dealt specifically with Volk a lot faster striking, a lot quicker, a lot more...
not as technical, though.
No, but closing the distance and throwing a high volume of punches at a fast speed. Jack likes to use his distance, use his footwork, and make
He's a tactician.
Openings.
Yeah.
But I think that Islam dealing with guys who are a lot faster, a lot more reactive, that he probably has a little bit of advantage of, like, anticipating what's going to come at him. And then I think, maybe he doesn't get the first takedown, but everyone used to say this about Khabib. And you got to remember that. Everyone's like, oh, well, Khabib, if he can't take him down, he won't win. But Khabib's like, well, I'll just shoot 15 takedowns at you. Eventually, you're going to get tired. I'm used to shooting 15 takedowns in 5 minutes. I'm used to shooting 30 takedowns in 1 minute. And then in his head, he's like response mapping. If I do this, what's Jack going to do? And then he already has, I'm going to, as soon as Jack steps here, I'm just going to change legs, or I'm going to turn my body, or I'm going to push him to the K. Do you know what I mean? And the Khabib style of wrestling, they have that response mapping approach to doing what they do, where they're already anticipating your response. Yeah. They're already anticipating the movement you're going to make. But they're anticipating 3 movements. Yeah,
they're chain
not
wrestlers.
Just one. Yeah.
So it's like when people in one, like, Ben Askren, he's called funky because he's got a weird wrestling style. And as soon as Ben Askren used to grab your toenail, he used to chain wrestle his way up to your body. the Daggies have a very, not the Daggies in general, but Khabib's lineage has a very similar-ish style, whereas they're relentless. They're not going to get you on the first takedown. They're going to get you on the transition between the third and they just keep barraging you with it.
I think there's like a caveat to that, and maybe I'm out of my mind, and maybe some guys in Adelaide who are high-level martial artists will agree. They are in this state where
That's fucking putrid, by the way.
No, it's nice. They expect you to counter what they're doing, but they also commit to it in a way that if you don't counter to what they're doing, you're going to get punished for it. And that middle ground of committing to something to the point of executing it, but also being able to transition into that chain wrestling motion is it's such a fine line that has to be sort of refined over time. And I think a lot of people can't do that because you need to be a genuine threat while also being able to transition into problem-solving mechanics.
In my head, I had that fight initially, honestly, at 70% Islam, 30% JDM. I've dropped it right down to 50-50 because I think the size difference and JDM's skill set,
I don't think their size is going to be that much different, to be honest with you.
It's not that much different, but the difference is that this is the first person Islam's fighting that is that size.
Yeah, I agree. That's
JDM's
smaller guys for a long time.
He's not a massive welter, but he's the first one Islam's going to fight. And obviously, in the gym, Islam, I'm sure, ragdolls heavyweights. It's different. Like I said...
Fighting's different.
Like I said before, fighting's different. But I really, really think... And Islam's not Khabib. He's better at striking, but he's more vulnerable. He's more he puts himself in more danger than Khabib. Khabib was such a specialist, it didn't matter. Islam mixes it up. He's a really good striker. He's obviously fucking exceptional on the ground. He takes way more risks than Khabib. Khabib had a way better fight IQ, in my opinion.
I mean, Khabib in his corners for sure. Khabib's shown
that's the other thing. Khabib in the corner, the thing with those Dagestanis, they listen so well. They're like players, and Khabib's holding a controller.
He has Khabib's brain with his skill.
They share a brain set.
If you, in my opinion, this might be controversial, I think if you take away the big brother aspect of Khabib and
I don't believe
Islam,
so.
I think Islam beats him.
I think Khabib...
Islam's so much bigger as well.
I think Khabib is the most terrifying specialist in all of MMA history.
Let me think.
Because everyone knew exactly what he was going to do.
Let me think.
Who else? What other... Yeah, I'll put it to you a different way. What other fighter would you say that people knew exactly what he was going to do 12 weeks out,
I've got two,
but still can't implement a game plan to defend it?
Alex Pereira.
Yeah. My boy.
I was going to say, I had one very easily because he's lost.
But he's lost. Yeah. People have figured out that... Not figured it out, but he's lost.
Did he... and he hasn't confirmed it. Was he sick and did he have a broken hand? Because when I watched it, I didn't think that
throwing.
Looked like him.
No, he was not throwing.
And I don't want to give it... Maybe he is older and he's slowed down, but I
don't know if I'm a dick rider, but
I don't see that as him.
I was with Dale and shit watching it, and I was like, why is he not throwing?
Yeah.
He wasn't. And it wasn't of fear of the takedown. He just wasn't throwing.
No.
And it was weird, but everyone has excuses. Khabib would have been champ for another 4 fights. No one was going to beat him. Not one person.
Yeah, but Dustin rocked him. You know, but he can get
That's the thing.
Because he marches forward, and Khabib marched forward a little bit, especially against Justin. He walked forward with his fucking chin in the air in that last fight.
When Khabib hit Conor with that overhand, there has never been a more personal shot in MMA.
Oh, I agree.
Because Khabib could never throw that shot if he threw it 100 times. Out of 100 times, he lands it once.
Well, it was just the head game. Conor was so worried about having his legs dived on that he said it. you're going to dive on my legs. You're going to dive on my legs. Khabib's like, okay, I'm going to dive on your legs. Fucking
Conor did really well. I rewatched that recently.
Conor did well for one fucking round.
No, he did well for Khabib. Like, do you know, Ally Quinter actually had the best show.
Ally Quinter did the best. Did the best, easily. But also...
what would you give the percentage of JDM and Islam?
I think it's probably 70-30 the opposite way to what you think. I don't think JDM can't win. I definitely think he can win.
How do you think... So you think 7 out of 10 times Islam wins?
Yeah.
How do you think it goes? If you had to guess, how would you think Islam would do it? Because I just don't see it. I don't see him manhandling JDM.
This is only speculation.
Gilbert, he knocked out Gilbert in the last round, and he stuffed Bilal's takedowns in the fifth, bro.
No, I agree with you. The one thing that I think I would like to see that Islam does well is Islam mixes up the striking a lot better. Exactly, like, how many kicks do you see Bilal throw?
No, but he throws himself...
He throws them, but he throws arm kicks to round you. Bilal throws kicks to, like, keep you in a direction. He doesn't actually throw kicks to, like, kick you.
No,
you know
but
what I mean?
when you're striking with... My argument to that is that's what I said before. He puts himself in more danger. As soon as you start striking with JDM, he's downloading you. He's a fucking fantastic striker, man.
What I'm saying is Islam mixes up striking a lot better than any
with
of the
his
other,
level changes and shit.
But not just that. He uses knees up the middle. He uses kicks to the leg. He uses kicks to the head. He uses kicks to the body. Like, Bilal uses kicks to try and move you in a direction. He doesn't really use kicks to like be an effective game plan, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not his...
Just pull your mic up a little bit, please.
It's not his, like, I'm going to kick you to hurt you, whereas Islam is like, I'm going to kick your legs, I'm going to kick high, I'm going to throw punches, I'm going to try and pull your hands down, I'm going to kick high again, and then I'm going to shoot a takedown on you. Then I'm going to break and I'm going to throw another kick. Like, I think the way that Islam mixes things up with that massive threat that if he takes you down, and it doesn't matter if you're Jack training with Craig. I think if you get taken down and Islam has that dominant position, I don't think you're going to be able to do anything.
Do you know what I also think is a massive factor that we haven't mentioned? Volk's had 2 fights with him, done 2 camps. Craig has done 2 camps around him. Lopez, everyone's really studied him. This is the best chance for an Aussie to finally get one over Islam. I feel this is the best and last chance. We have so much information on him. Volk won the fucking first fight.
I agree.
And
let's not pretend that Jack has the skill set that Volk has.
He's got a different one.
I agree, but it's way more one-dimensional.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Volk's my favourite.
The problem.
Volk's my favourite fighter of all time.
But Volk can wrestle, he can mix it up, he can threaten the takedown, he's got good striking, he's super quick.
We don't know how good Jack is.
No, I'm not saying... That's why I'm giving him a third... That's why I'm saying 30% I think I can give to Jack, but I think the way that Makhachev mixes it up and the pressure that he's not scared of you shooting on him. You know what I mean? He's not scared of Jack shooting on him, but Jack's worried about him being shot on.
I didn't go into... Or I said it in the group. The closer it got to the fight, I thought Jack would do it because of what Adam Jones told me.
Yeah, because Bilal sucks.
He doesn't. He's very good.
He sort of sucks, though.
He sucks, but he's like...
Canelo hands, bro.
If he stuck to what his coach's game plan was, but the thing is, Jack made him not stick to it. So it wasn't like he was going out there and not performing.
Also, let's not pretend that Jack almost didn't get finished.
Yeah, but that's a good testament to how fucking good he is, man.
But he almost got finished as well. So it's like, he's not invincible.
Well, Volk had questionable fights with Max, if you want to look at it.
Yeah, well, he lost the second fight.
He didn't lose any. He won both fucking 50, fucking 49,
he
47
lost the second
to
fight,
me.
Yeah, it's cool.
You reckon?
He got dropped twice, bro.
You're such a Max dick rider.
How do you not be a Max dick rider?
Actually...
Max is the coolest, best fighter you can follow of all time.
This is very funny, actually. So, Luke's 2 favourite fighters in the whole world. If he was a homosexual and he could get put on the spit, it would be by Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. And am I wrong?
They're the only 2 fighters that own T-shirts for both of them, and they are...
And as soon as the fight got announced...
No, sorry, I own a Robert Whittaker T-shirt as well, and they're my top 3.
As soon as the fight got announced, he was like, oh no. who do you want to win? I don't see neither of them are in my top 10. I obviously love them, but they're not like my boys. I really think Dustin's going to fucking level him out.
I get so nervous watching both of them fight, so it's so hard for me. So
Max is gonna fucking point. He's gonna fucking point in that center for Louisiana. He's gonna be like, Louisiana's my home now.
The one thing is, I just really hope Max's chin isn't gone after what happened, because I don't want to see him have that decline and that downfall of like, because he honestly, we can agree, he doesn't deserve that. Like, I don't want to see him go on a downfall where people would knock him out that don't deserve to beat him. You know what I mean?
I can see it happening, though.
It can happen to anyone.
Because Max, bro, he has been in fucking... And people think, oh, he's only... What is he, 28, 29?
He's 32.
Is he 30?
But he doesn't...
Max Holloway's 32.
Yeah, but he doesn't spar. And but that...
It's a detriment.
You don't understand.
No. But that can also... Cowboy didn't spar.
No, but not taking those knocks in sparring is huge. Like, that's great for your brain longevity.
Yeah, it's great for it, but when you tick us up, you tick us up. Some people are Justin Gaethje.
Possibly. I think what it is your brain goes, you're a tough cunt. I don't want you to do this to me anymore. So I'm going to decide that you're going to shut off because I don't want you to put me through pain.
I understand that. And obviously, I think if you can get to the highest level and kind of minimize sparring and brain damage, that's perfect.
But he also
then you have outliers like Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, and
Justin Gaethje's been KO'd before, though.
No. But I guarantee they're not sparring light. Michael Chandler.
Oh no, they're not sparring light. That's what I'm saying.
So everyone's tick is different. Like Justin Gaethje, man, you should be able to go, and he get knocked out at this point.
Yeah.
And then you got fucking Michael Chandler. You got all of these boys. TJ Dillashaw, notorious hard sparrer. He's not sparring. He's fighting.
We're saying the same. That's what I mean. So I think because Max...
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's tick is different.
Because Max wasn't flatlined by Ilya. Like, you know what I mean? He was not great, but he was still...
That's delicious.
He was still looking up. He was still, like...
Sorry, I just got to give this a shout out. That's really yum.
It is great,
what is it? Goodland? Goodland, Snow Dogs, Throwing... Oh, that's just too long a name. I'm not even shouting you out. It's fucking ridiculous.
But you know, he wasn't like... It's not twitching on the floor, unconscious, out cold. Like...
Can we talk about...
So his chin's not gone. You asked me what I would prefer to see out of the two of them.
Which one?
My plan would be Ilya beats Charles, Dustin beats Max on a decision, and then Dustin is then the number one contender.
If you can pick one person to knock the other out, who's knocking each other out?
No, bro.
You can't go by decision tit for tat.
No,
it's not going to... You know in your heart it's not going to be a decision.
No, well, their last fight was a decision. It was a fucking war.
Max is pointing.
Yeah, Max, but it doesn't mean Max is getting knocked out.
No, Max could knock Poirier out.
Okay,
would you rather...
Who's knocked Dustin out recently? Besides getting head kicked.
I think Dustin's going to win.
This is what I'm saying. If Dustin wins, he's the number one contender for Ilya's belt.
He's retiring. He's not fighting Ilya.
No, bro. Why would you not?
Do you want to see that?
Why would you not?
Do you want to see that?
But their skills...
I don't want to see that.
Okay,
Why is he fighting Ilya? Maybe he's fighting Charles.
Well, if it's Charles, it's not happening again. I don't think.
Let's just calm down right now.
But if Max wins, does he fight Charles?
Do
you know what I'm saying?
Such a fun fight, bro.
So either way, but you need the alternating sides to win, because then it makes a great story, because Max has beat Charles before, so he gets another shot at Charles. But then if he wins, then Ilya gets a shot at Max.
I'm going to talk to you about Ilya Topuria right now. This little motherfucker.
I'm aware, he's fucking awesome, dude.
This little cunt has come into the UFC. I've hated his smugness from the get-go. I've doubted his skills. He's knocked out Volk. He's knocked out your boy Max. He's fucked,
dude.
He's fucked everything up. He's fucked everything.
He has, but
and then he releases the podcast with Joe Rogan, and I accidentally watched it.
I liked him,
and he's actually a really good dude. And then he fucking moves. And Tom Pirro, meanwhile, 6 months prior, is like, Ilya could go up to 55 and beat everyone. And I'm like, are you retarded? He's a small little dude. And Tom's like, he's not that small. And then Zach sends that video yesterday of him hitting pads like a fucking gorilla. Looks
anyone
like anyone
can look good on the pads.
No, you can differentiate when someone
He's a world champion. Of course, he's going to look good.
No.
Everyone can look like they're going to beat the world on pads. No,
so
I don't agree.
I have a bet going in the group chat right now with my mate Dale, because we always bet on fights because we can't gamble on fights in South Australia. Yeah. He really thinks Oliveira is going to fucking just get starched. I think it's so rude to make Ilia Topuria the biggest betting favourite of his career against Charles Oliveira.
The only thing like I said to you guys when we were talking about it in the chat, if Charles can implement that knee up the middle, front kick,
that teep,
then it's going to be dangerous. But also, if you're Ilia Topuria, they're the only two things you have to worry about. He's not worried about being taken down, putting Charles on his back. He wants Charles on his back. And he also
Charles gets comfortable on his back. That's the only thing. And he wants
to be on the... If you let Ilia on the inside, Charles is going to sleep. Man.
I also think every single Charles Oliveira fight, people always discount that he is the fucking hardest puncher in that division.
Allegedly.
From the man himself, Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, but
that's the person to take that advice from. None of us actually know the statistic of who punches
still subjective
harder,
though.
But if someone says, "Oh, it's like I fucking got shocked by electricity," it's a pretty hard. And
but he also could have stepped into being jabbed. You know what I mean? Like
when Charles, when Charles is all right. So I am a dick rider because Charles is in my top 2 of all time for me. Every single Charles fight is amazing. Because it's like he's either getting knocked out or he's finishing someone. Mm-hmm. I really put it at a 50-50. I just think people are discrediting him so much.
I don't know if I would say it's more... I would say maybe it's like 60-40 because I think
Ilia?
Charles... Yeah, to Ilia. But I think Charles is dangerous, but I think if he gets too comfortable with dealing with the fact that he can get hurt and pull guard, I think that's going to be really dangerous for him. I think the problem is he has these two... From the outside of us looking, we can all agree that knee up the middle, that front kick, that jab cross...
He's way bigger than he's used to as well.
I agree.
Like what? But no, it's a way bigger difference from Islam going up to Ilia going up. I agree. Huge.
But if Charles cannot stop Ilia from entering the inside space...
That's the thing.
It's done.
And if Ilia backs him up on the cage,
it's done.
He's fucked.
Because if Ilia backs anyone on the cage, it's over. Look at all of his KO highlights. Jai Herbert, straight off the bat.
Jai rocked him.
Gets dropped with a head kick, puts him on the cage, KOs him.
What happens if Charles rocks him? What happens if Charles rocks him? He's gone.
He probably... But he might get submitted and dropped, but who knows?
That's how I see it.
But do you know what I mean? He puts Volk on the cage, KOs him. He backs Max around towards the cage. Max circles away from the cage, and Ilia has the IQ to understand that Max is going to get away from the cage, KOs him.
If Ilia Topuria... I'll tell you this now. If Ilia Topuria knocks out Charles Oliveira, I'll get his initials tattooed on me. With a little ball, with a little matador. He got rid of the legend.
Nah, he's back now. Yeah,
he's back to the El Matador. I'll get a little ball with IT on it. On my leg.
Excellent. Do you know what I want you to get? Get the Topuria logo.
No, it's terrible.
No, you have to.
If
you're going to do this, you get the Topuria logo.
If Ilia Topuria beats Oliveira, it's hard to say he is not one of the most impressive martial artists in the world at the moment.
It pisses me off.
It pisses me off too because he's actually very nice. He's so humble. He married like a hell rich girl. You want to piss?
Yeah.
At your dick?
Can we?
All right.
Can we take a second?
Wait up. Just give me 3 seconds.
We're drinking 10 beers in an hour.
We're drinking 10. All I'm saying is, and I actually mean it, if Ilia Topuria, if he wins, but if he fucking starches Oliveira, who is my favourite fighter.
That'll piss me off, man.
I don't want to make noise putting a jacket on, but I'm gonna fucking yell.
That'll piss me off. And it's happening on. It's actually happening on. So I haven't advertised it to the public. There's only 10 tickets left. But if anyone wants to watch it live with and hosted by the Sesh with Sav, will you?
I've got a ticket.
I thought you were going away.
No, it's okay. It's too hard.
So if anyone wants to come, message me. I got a day, unlimited American barbecue, free beer upon arrival, and we're probably going to shelve some pingers.
And message me too.
Message Luke for no reason. But I will get it. I will get a little ball. Do you know what I'll do? I'll get the Rock's tattoo of a ball with Ilia Toporia's initials in it. But if Charles wins, the whole group chat has to get the Charlie Olive.
I'll do it, dude. I'll
do that anyway.
I'm not. I have no fear of that.
It just annoys me how disrespectful fucking MMA betting is. $4 is it $4 worth?
I think when you take into account like age and understanding that.
Are you a gambling addict?
No.
Okay,
I'm not a
so
gambler.
as a gambling addict, $4 in MMA
Is a wash.
Is like you have zero chance of winning.
I know.
Kayla Harrison was paying $2.30. She wasn't even the favourite against
And I
Penna.
would easily bash her.
If it came down to it, I reckon you would.
Do you want to throw your hands? She's got way bigger biceps than me, though.
Do you reckon you'd win a fight with Cyborg? MMA fight?
Yeah, probably.
MMA different to Muay Thai.
She's a woman, dude.
They got good jiu-jitsu.
I don't care.
Adele would fuck you up.
No.
Farinio?
No.
You don't reckon?
No.
I think jiu-jitsu kind of bridges the gap between
Yeah, but
women
I
and
can
men.
also do some jiu-jitsu. I'm not a fucking retard, and I'm 95 kilos.
Do you know who would bash you?
No one.
Like in a straight grappling match?
Probably a man.
Taylor Ford.
Oh, probably, yeah. In a straight grappling match, yeah. For sure she would.
Taylor made me cry.
She's a weapon.
No, but like...
She's probably stronger than I am.
I've never met a woman that... Yeah, so me and Miles train as our Southern Strength and Conditioning. And I was talking to Taylor on our last pod. And she's like, so what? I was like, oh, do you want to come lift weights with us? Because she had the next day off. She's like, yeah, what kind of numbers are you pulling, blah, blah. I was like, this and that. And she's like... Yeah,
I can waste my time with losers.
She's like, I can go light that day. I was like, oh my God. When that woman, that was the first time. I'll ask you I'll tell mine and then you tell yours. The first time I was like, you think you're a hard cunt and then you go somewhere and you realize you're not. Taylor Ford for me was like, I cried on the way home. Because I did not know who she was. I had no idea, and I'll never forget. We were sparring, and I took her down weird, like I spasticed her, and I kind of like... She probably doesn't remember this.
One-way ticket again to smash.
I remember this vividly. I took her down really weird. It was awkward. It was just pure strength, unconventional, and it was unsafe. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she... treated me like a 4-year-old child. She pulled my top up and she slapped my belly. And I just couldn't do anything. Like a fucking... And I was like, this is a girl. And she's a very, like, pretty girl. And I was like, what the fuck? And I remember going home and I called Josh and I was like, this just happened, blah, blah, blah. And I remember driving by myself and I just, like, started tearing up. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I couldn't have done anything. Like, there's nothing I could have done. At all. If she wanted to kill me, like legitimately, if she wanted to kill me, she could have. And that was the first moment I was like, what the fuck? And then you realize how violent people can be. Then you meet your jacks. Then you meet your Braithwaites. Then you meet these people that are just... They can turn on violence so easy. You meet your Gregsons,
Well, I was just going to say to you, if Taylor Ford does that to you in grappling, that's what I will do to you striking.
I'll break your kneecap off.
No, you won't.
I reckon I'll get you.
Even just boxing.
Nah, if it was pure boxing, I reckon I'll get you.
I think you've got about 14 seconds.
Nah. I reckon I'll get you. I reckon I'll win on points.
Hey.
People want to see it.
I'd love to live in the world you live in.
Do you follow G2G?
I don't need to follow G2G.
No, do you follow the underground... it's really taking off now. I inbox them. It's like the underground fight league in Australia now.
You got to finish your beer too.
It's called Get GTG. Get that guap. It's just in Melbourne and Sydney, it's people that have problems and instead of stabbing each other, their message is let's box on. Which is really cool. I
love that, to be fair with you. I love that.
And I've been talking to the promoter of it, and he's like, I was like, you got to come to Adelaide. He's like, we're trying, blah, blah, blah. We should fight on that.
Dude, we can... I can't. We can't.
Dude, getting knocked out is way better than getting choked out.
Just we're friends. No, I can't. Real talk. I can't do to you what you think it's going to be okay. It's
I'm gonna fuck you up.
No, it's
Dead
not.
set.
It's not going to be okay, dude.
Dead set on God.
No,
I really think I'd fuck you up.
you're not though.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I promise you.
That's what the fight's for.
No,
We're gonna
we
find
can't.
out.
No, we're not. I don't need to find out. I know.
Yeah, but everyone's calling me a bitch for like ducking you.
Yeah,
You're ducking me. Do you hear this?
I don't.
Are you getting this?
It's a role reverse.
He's fucking ducking me. Dude.
Maybe, do you know what we can do? Let's in a couple of weeks, let's just spar very nicely and respectfully with each other.
Give me a thumb war.
And then after that fight, you can decide whether you want to fight me or not.
Give me a thumb war. Wait. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. Bitch ass. Great, yeah. See? Even. Dude, you got big hands. Oh my god, that would suck. Dude, you're hell bigger. Yeah, you won that. Yeah, you won that. But ever since I found out that I'm a 5'5" man, 5'6", ever since I found that out, everything seems. I swear, on my mum's life, you were not as tall the first time I met you to now.
I've been 6'2" for a long time.
You are, bro.
No, you explained it the best. You're like, when I met you, you were having shoulder surgeries. You're always injured. I just seen you as this injured guy, and
You're
like,
a feeble man.
And then now we're on Snapchat, and you're like, I see you in the gym, and I see you without a shirt on, and you're like, I think I made a mistake.
No, but you're like after it. You get after. You're a Spartan army. You fucking go to the. You train very consistently. Whereas I'm very sporadic. Like, I'll go through a phase like I do with every single hobby in my life where I fucking hammer it for 3 months and then I fade off and I find something else. Whereas you're like you have the ability to be very regimented.
That's what I was saying to you before. Josh has it as well. And a lot of like the old school martial artists, Miles obviously has the same thing. It's like, it's this... You do something for so long that it feels broken to not do it anymore. So,
but it's funny because you're like, if I seen you in town in a group and all of us got into a fight, you'd be the one I'd fucking target because you look like a geek. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you're not the. And also, when you get to know you, you're very like soft-spoken. You're very sweet. I'm
playful.
You're a very cool dude. You're very unassuming. Whereas then you get like Caulfield, who's just like a British fucking bulldog. And do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't go near that. But then there's you, and that's one thing fighting, like going to gyms, hell shows you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you still follow Muay Thai a lot?
Yeah, not locally, but like globally, I do for sure.
Have you seen this kid at M16 right now called Aaron?
You've told me about him.
That kid has knocked out like 4 people. How many?
I think it's more than 4.
4 or 5 people in less than a year. He's 16. He's the one that the video of him bashing me.
Is that in fights or sparring?
Fights.
Damn, what a fucking weapon.
No. Like this kid... I've never met... You know when you meet, like, the first time you meet, like, like, you can fight, but the difference between you and someone who wants to do it... It's, like, when you meet a Jack Spacey, a Gary Williams...
I've always said the worst fights you can have is when someone just genuinely wants to hurt you. Like, I was not a...
I don't even think it's that. I think it's competitiveness, because I don't have that competitiveness in me.
Like, I was competitive, and I was trying to, like, win.
Fighting's different. It's instinctual.
If you get someone who's not trying to win, they're just trying to hurt you. Or they're just trying to do the best, like whatever they can do to be as good as they can and be better than you and hurt you. You won't understand it because you've not been in a fight. Not to disrespect you, but when you get guys who've been in a fight, like you get some fights where the other guy is fighting you and you're fighting and you're both trying to win and you're trying to be better.
Opposed to a point fight.
No, that is like it is a point fight, but it's also like they're trying to do shit and they're definitely trying to hurt you. But like then you get guys who don't care about winning, they don't care about anything else. They are just trying to fuck you up. Like they just want to fucking flatline.
I think
you.
I've been in like street fights, etc. But it's different when, like,
but people in street fights are scared too.
That's the thing. It's different when, like, the first time I met Jack Spacey was prime example. That was probably the first person I met when I met Jack and Trent, where I was like, oh,
they're so good.
But it's not that. It's like, you're so different to me. Like, if we were in a room and one of us was getting out, there would be zero chance, because I don't have in me what you... If, like, you and Jack, if you and someone were in a room, you as a trained fighter... I'm not shitting on you as well, by the way.
No, like, I'd put the resilience up for sure.
But you would never leave that room. Because just on the pure fact that there's echelons to like, you've fought before, but then there's a different level to that and a different level. Like, there's people in the world that would do that to Jack. Like, once you... You know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like,
and that's what I did. I fought for different reasons that Jack fights, and Jack probably fights for different reasons that Trent fought.
But
as well.
It's terrifying to think that there's people that would treat Jack like he would treat me. Do you know what I mean? That's when it's a spin out, because these, like, top 3 UFC fighters, we see them and they're like, oh, they're really good at fighting. No, those are the most fucking dangerous men in the world. Like, they are the scariest human beings walking around.
Do you know what the difference is, I feel, though, from when you get to, like, that... We have state elite and, I guess, national elite, and they skill-wise, like, if you watch them hit pads or hit the bag, they probably look the same.
It's intent.
But not even intent, it's, like, timing and reflexes and, like, their ability to react to certain situations.
Bro,
like, it becomes so... Like, fighting is so mentally high level that...
Just not blinking. Just being able to look at a punch without flinching is so hard.
Or even have your brain do the... Like, when you get hit, your brain goes...
Fuck this.
Fuck, I don't want to get hit. That was
Fight
a
or
bad
flight.
thing. But some guys get hit and they go, that's
normal.
That's part of the course. Let's go.
But it's just... I just wasn't... In my head, I'm not a competitive dude. I don't understand that mentality.
Well, that hit and keep firing took me... probably 13 fights.
Yeah.
But, like, I wasn't good in my first 10 fights. I lost my first 4 and I had a draw. But then I won 4 in a row after that. But I had this switch where I was like, I was sort of fighting because I got picked on. I wanted to be this cool, you know, I'm a fighter, and I did it. And then I was in there with guys who were actually fighters, and I got fucking shit beaten out of me. And then I sort of matured through this stage where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, what do I actually want to do through this? And I sort of started to win fights, and I started to beat people, and I had this confidence. And then I went to Red Star with Simon, and I sort of... Now I look back on it, he was my age when he was my coach. So I was 25, and he's 10 years older than me. So he was 35. And like I said to you before, he was like, it's mental. It's like, if you want to do it, you can just do it. You can just do anything you want to do. And now I'm his age, and I'm like, what you're saying with consistency, like, I get injured, I get hurt.
You're very
but
consistent,
I find a way to do what I need to do. I find a way to keep going, doing what I like.
Even with your recovery with your shoulder surgery, you stuck to that, and you didn't give a fuck. It's like, yeah, I look like a bitch. I'm doing 500 grand
kilo
weight.
Yeah.
And I have terrible shoulders as well. I have no cartilage in my shoulders. I'm fucking. He's like, you said to me, you're like, dude, doesn't matter if you feel like a bitch. Just stick. I'm so not regimented though. I'm so sporadic with my life. But that's what draws me to MMA, man. You see these dudes, it's such a different athletic endeavor to know in 6 weeks, I'm going to meet this dude in the cage. He's going to try and kill me at the highest level. It's not even, forget about the local level. You're fighting in front of...
But at the local level is the highest level to you.
No.
When you're there in that moment.
I'm saying...
It's all the same is what I'm saying. Like, mentally for that person, it's the same thing.
It's the same. It's the same feeling. But say you're...
It's the same lesson.
Say you're John Jones. You're on fucking cocaine. You have self-doubt that this guy might be the guy to fucking kill you. There's 10 million people watching. There's 700 grand on the line.
Highlight reels.
Like... social media, like there's so much on the line, and you go out and you put on a war, like Max Holloway's win against Gaethje at UFC 300. That would have just been the biggest dick. Like, after that. It's just
for sure.
It's the greatest sport in the world, man. It's the greatest form of they're our gladiators.
Yeah, well, I can relate to that because my very last fight I hadn't fought in maybe 4 years, and I went and I was coaching at Gorilla Fight Club. Shout out to Gorilla. I hope they're doing well. With my friend at the time, Paddy Brown. We had opened a gym together. We were sort of he'd opened a gym, and I was out there just sort of helping, coaching, doing some stuff, and sort of being a part of it. I thought, this will be all right. But then my dad got cancer. And my dad was real sick and he was sort of fighting through that. And I thought, fuck it. If he can do what he's doing, maybe I can have one more fight. Because I had this sort of doubt where in the early years of fighting, I'd sort of given up on myself a few times and I'd quit in the ring. And it was pretty obvious that I'd quit and I'd given up sometimes. And I wasn't very happy with that outcome of what I'd done. And when I was at Red Star, I never had that issue. Like I'd figured it out. But I wanted to go to have this one more fight where I was like, I need to know that I'm not a bitch anymore. Like, because I'd had this like broken upbringing and I wasn't very confident in myself and I never really thought I was going to amount to much and I sort of gave up on myself really quickly. So I went to Gorilla and I was like, my dad got sick and I thought, if you can do this, like if you can fight for this and like try to be alive and try to not give up on something. It's like the be all and end all. Like, why am I? Yeah, exactly. Why am I scared of going and fighting another man?
When
like,
you're
this
fighting,
is ridiculous.
When you're fighting against the Grim Reaper.
And even halfway through that, we heard news that like he wasn't going to live for much longer, and everyone was like, you don't have to do this. Like, it's not a good time in your life. And I was like, no, like I have to do this. And I went through it, and even through it, I remember I beat the fuck out of this dude, and shout out to Brian. The dude is so tough. And it's the guy Zach fought in his MMA fight.
Really?
Yeah. So I beat the brakes off this dude for 2.5 rounds. Cut him open twice. I think I gave him 10 or 12 stitches in his face, above and below his eye. When I cut him, he was like a shark. He got worse. And I got elbowed in the back of the head, I think the end of the 3rd round, and I tried to contest. Like, I got hit and I saw stars and it wasn't great, and I tried to sort of contest to the ref that I'd been hit in the back of the head, but he didn't see it the way I see it. So I came back and I was pretty confident that I was going to KO him, like, early. And because in camp, I'd broken everyone's ribs. I'd fucking cut people. I'd thrown people around. And so everyone said, oh, he's a tough Maori, he ain't getting knocked out. And I thought, I'm going to knock him out. So I emptied my gas tank in the first couple of rounds, leg kicking him, kneeing him, elbowing him, punched him in the jaw, felt my knuckles through my gloves. And then I got elbowed in the back of the head, and that was the end of the round. And I thought, all right. I came back out for 2 more, and I remember getting dropped with a knee to the body, which fucking pissed me off because kneeing and clinching was like that's where I was like, oh, I'm good here. But I was so tired that he fucked me up. But I remember, I think the end of or somewhere between the 4th and the 5th, I was on the ground and I was like, I could be done here. And then my dad was in the crowd, and I think it was like maybe a month before he passed. And I was like, my dad's fighting cancer. If I can't get up now, like, and he's doing that, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, so I got up and I had that fight, and I lost on points, and I thought,
but you made
to be
it all
fair,
the
I
way
thought,
through.
like I said, I fucking beat the brakes off this dude. Like, if we were going skill for skill, it is what it is. But he outlasted me and he fucked me up, and I was like, I can't quit like now because someone else has gone through worse time for me, and I've hated I've got regret from the earlier parts of my career where I just hate myself for giving up on myself because I'm not that person anymore. But I had to prove to myself
that you were
that in that fight, and I remember saying to Zach as we came into it, I was like, I want a war because I want to know that I am who I say I am.
That fight was for you.
I knew I wasn't that person from my teen years, my early 20s, where I'd like give up on myself early, and I was like, I know I'm not that person, but I have to prove to myself that I'm not that person. Like, I have to go through the fire and the flames to come out the other side
for
and
yourself.
Go, yeah, that's not me anymore.
Do you know who said something hell similar on the podcast? You listened to the podcast I did with Leondaris?
No, but I remember Leondaris coming up, and he looked like a guy who had some stuff to deal with.
No, he's young. He's 21.
No, I know he is. He was like 16 when he was starting fighting.
So he said on the pod, he's like, my biggest problem was when I was younger, I would quit.
Yeah.
And he needed those fights. Like some fighters just, it's not about, like in Muay Thai especially and in kickboxing, people never look at your wins and losses. They look at your fights. And it's like, and a lot of these fighters, they're not fighting because for the record. They're fighting because a lot of people have really deep demons that can only be figured out in this form.
Yeah.
Violence. And he grew up in a really strong martial arts lineage.
Yeah, of course, because
he had a lot of pressure.
Dad and his grandfather.
His last name's insane,
yeah.
Man. Like, such a talented kid, but he had a real problem with he would check out and he would quit. And the fight with Curran that he had on, I believe
he did great.
He's like, I'm so happy that I got rocked in that fight and just fought through it. It's like, because it's better.
You need to know that that's what's inside of you.
Like fighters prefer to have a adversity rather than a clean sweep.
Yeah.
That's why Conor's personality and stuff can be put in check, because he won all of his fights. Whenever he was put in adversity, he lost.
Yeah.
When a fighter goes through adversity and they get pumped, like JDM and Gilbert Burns, losing, Leon Edwards, one of the greatest moments in MMA history. Mm-hmm. There's something so special about seeing what you're made of as a person. I will never know that feeling. I might know it in other avenues, but there's something special.
It's so raw.
There's something primal about the combat element of one of us is leaving, like Izzy in the last round against Gastelum.
Yep.
I'm ready to die. You actually have to, it sounds like cliche and stuff, but in that moment, you have to be willing to fucking die. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Oh, you would know.
No, that's sort of what I'm going. I was never super impressed with my fighting career. I guess when I went to Red Star,
but you had a fighting career. It doesn't matter.
But we spoke about the tournament I was in. I lost in the first round of that, but I was expected to not lose it. I was expected to go to the second round. So then at the next Knees of Fury, I fought the guy who won the whole tournament. He dropped me in the first 20 seconds with a left hook. I dropped him in the third round with leg kicks. And I threw the towel in the fifth round with a broken ankle.
Well, anyone that steps in the cage, man, I respect so much, because I've always wanted to have one fight. But I'm so scared of losing. Like, I'm just so scared. Losing in anything just eats me up. Like, not performing just kills me. So that's why I have so much respect for anyone that goes out in an amateur show, in any show. Because the thought of losing just fucking irks me.
But when you're older, do you not want to think back and go, I was too scared to take a risk?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Losing's fine. I actually don't give a... Everyone treats me with the same respect as if I'd won 20 fights, as if, like,
it's more the family element, because I hate fucking putting people through stress on my behalf.
Well, my mum she watched 3 fights of mine ever.
Who's a dime piece, by the way. Sorry.
But my mum watched 3 fights of mine. Like, she couldn't watch it. She couldn't do it.
That's the other thing. Watching friends fight
is way worse than fighting.
It's horrible. It's actually not enjoyable.
Cornering Zach was worse for me than fighting.
It's so funny you say that, because I always ask Miles, like, you ask any coach, what's worse, fighting or cornering? Cornering's worse.
Cornering's way worse.
Because you feel like
you love
all
them.
on you.
You love them. You want them. It's not that. You love that person. You want to see him succeed, and you know that there is like, you can be as positive as you want and think your friend's the best in the world, but you know there's a chance that they can lose, because fighting's fighting, and everyone's got a puncher's chance in winning, and you might see your friend unconscious. And seeing your friend unconscious is painful.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, and you can have all the faith in the world, but you're always going to have that anxiety of, like...
And it's like, are they following the game plan? They're not. You can see their ticks as to when they're checking out.
Because you know.
You can see, like, the clues of, like, in sparring he does this, and this is when he checks out, this is happening, and you can see all the cues to them imploding internally. But we will stop this. This is the last beer. What was the name of
It was
that?
sludge.
No.
That's
We're on the
Uradler.
Uradler. So this tastes like fucking it sounds. It's the Tomb Dweller. This one is 13.6 ABV. We're going to go out. I'll see you at the bottom. Thank you so much, Luke, for coming on.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciated being on.
I love you, man. Like,
I love you too. You've
You're
had
a
some
fucking
legends
legend.
on. I appreciate
nah,
it.
you're a fucking
included in
legend.
that.
You're very transparent, and you're always very helpful when I need actual advice. And you're also a very casual racist man.
I love you. Thanks for having me.
I love you too, man. Thank you.
Take
Cheers. Oos.